Oh, family, what a great afternoon to be in the land of the living. We are so thankful to be here with you on this great afternoon. If you are listening to us on this beautiful afternoon, that means that somebody else is not listening to us. So do me a favor, family, and tap that individual sitting next to you, or give them a text and tell them to tune in live with us right now at www.WBOK1230am.com, family. And if you just happen to have that phone or iPhone sitting next to you, you can go ahead and download that Google app as WBOK 1230 AM.com, family. And today's show is going to be an amazing show. So I know that you're going to want to call in for this one right here. So call in, use those digits 504-260-9265. That is 504-260-9265. So family, we want to welcome you to the favorite show on WBOK with your favorite Gullah girl, Kyndra Joi, and we are on the move. And guess what, Howard? We are a community that is on the move.
Oh, that's great. Great to empower the community.
Yay. Yay. So today is a beautiful day that we have. Today is Family First Fridays, y'all. And y'all already know what happens on Family First Fridays. We gets it in. But today, I know y'all listening, and I know y'all waiting. Today is Gullah Geechee Day. We declaring it live on WBOK 1230 AM at this 12 to 1 p.m. hour, because I got my brother in the house. The Carolinas is taking over.
They don't know about that.
They don't know about that. They are taking over. So, family, I want to introduce to you today. I have the privilege and the honor to introduce to you my brother, my friend, Dr. Howard Conyers, y'all. And the crowd goes, wow. Hey, the crowd went wild. Oh, y'all wasn't ready for that. Y'all weren't ready. And so today, family, we're going to be talking about, because we are always talking about on Family First Fridays, what we can do to sustain ourselves, to sustain our families, and then to sustain our communities. So today we're taking a look back at the past. We both have Gullah history. We both have Gullah roots. And we are taking a look at the past to see what we can bring to the future or to the present to continue to move us forward, to once again sustain ourselves, our families, and our communities. And we are challenging everybody today, whatever your roots are, whatever your ancestry is, we need that energy right now.
Most definitely.
Because a lot of us don't have a foundation. So we want to make sure that we are using that. But I'm going to stop talking because I got an amazing dude sitting next to me, and I'm going to let him introduce himself to you.
No, you go ahead and do that.
No, I need you
to do that introduction.
No.
Come on, you do it. You do it. Go ahead, Kyndra. You
Family on air. You see how we starting off today? Okay.
I don't like talking about myself, you know.
Family. All right. Dr. Howard Conyers, A&T grad. I'm going to forgive him for that. North Carolina A&T grad, Aggie pride all the way.
All the way.
All the way, even though I'm a Ram girl. SU. We're going to rep that. You know what I'm saying? North Carolina schools in the house.
It's HBCU.
HBCU. I can dig it. And so my brother is all the way from Manning, South Carolina. And he is a rocket scientist here, an engineer here. Well, no, it's in Mississippi, right? What's the name of it?
Stennis Space Center.
Stennis Space Center. And then he's also a Pitmaster as well. So some of you may have seen him. What are the few shows that you guys had?
It was on a show on the cooking channel called Man, Fire, and Food.
Man, Fire, Food. And you were on one more, right? You did one more?
No, I think the only TV show I've been on so far.
Okay.
To date.
So to date. So not only is he an engineer, but he is also a Pitmaster. And so I just want you to give him a tad about how you took what you learned ancestrally for the Pitmaster and put it in with your engineering work. Just give them a snippet because we want them to come back. We want them to come back and listen.
Just a snippet. So like how I got into this whole barbecue tradition was just like you understand it's a labor of love. And
yeah.
No matter what you do in life, it's a labor of love, whether it's engineering. So you take it seriously. You also have to take be willing to learn from other people, things that you don't know. You have to sit down with them. Yeah. Break bread with them. Cook with them.
Cook with them. I'm telling you, we just said it yesterday. Whatever conversation, any conversation you want to have, we're talking about it with that, with Brother Charlie Pierre yesterday, who owns for Thai. Have food.
Have food. Food is a great common denominator, especially in these days and times.
Yeah, it definitely is. He's not giving y'all the information that he wants, though. He's being very modest on the air right now, but that's okay, family. Today we're going to speak a little bit of Geech. We're going to talk a little bit in Gullah, you know what I say? All my people out there who are listening from the Charleston, Cackalack, you already know how we do it around here. And so we just want to say thank you so for listening. We say thank you, eh?
Don't start there. You know you're in New Orleans. They can't understand what you said.
Yes, they can understand.
You want
yes,
me to translate for you?
Okay, translate.
You said thank you.
I said tanky.
I'm not translating for you.
What?
Tell them about a goober. Educate them. Give them some words.
So let's talk, before we take a quick little break, the Gullah culture. So let's talk about the Gullah culture. The Gullah culture is a culture that can be found from Wilmington, North Carolina to Florida. So they just recently, it used to be Jacksonville, but recently within the last 5 years, they added St. Augustine, or St. Augustine.
St. Augustine, Florida.
St. Augustine, Florida. And so on this particular coast, 30 miles in is what they're claiming it to be, but it goes even further.
It goes deeper.
It goes deeper than that.
It goes a lot deeper. It goes at least 50 or 60 miles.
It does go 50 to 60 miles. There is a culture of West Africans. It is the only African culture that was developed and created in America.
And sustained.
Thank you. See,
sustained. Like, it's real.
It is real. We are living witnesses that it's real. You know, when you hear us speak this year, we can't talk it all the time because everybody don't know we speak, huh? But when we talk this year is living. You know, this year is a Gullah language here that we live. And then when you go to Charleston, everything is an E, you know?
And a B.
And a B.
I be here, I be there.
And everything is an E. So E can be anything. And so with the Gullah culture, it is, and actually I have a few, just want to read a couple of cultures, but you have the Mindi culture, the Kissi culture, you have the Wolof culture, you have a lot of maybe up to 12 to 15 cultures that were brought over here during the time of slavery, and those were the cultures that were sustained here. And so, like I said, we're going to be talking a little bit of Geech. He's going to try to translate a little bit, you know, but he don't want to translate. I don't know why he acting so funny. But we want to say thank y'all so much for tuning into this Gullah Geechee show here today. We're going to talk a little bit more for you in Geech, and then we're going to tell you much more about the culture. And then we have some things for you. We got some sweet grass baskets, some sweet potatoes, some life everlast. And we're going to talk about how our culture helps sustain us and how we can bring those things to you guys today to help sustain all of us.
All
you know
of
what I'm
us.
saying?
We definitely need it these days and time for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So family don't go no place. We're going to be right back. We appreciate you. And we say thank you for coming in and tuning in with us today. Huh? All right. Stay tuned. Yeah, you can turn it down. Is it working?
I was going the wrong way. It's better now.
Okay.
It was loud.
Okay. This right here, rattling. This thing ain't going to drive me nuts.
There's freedom at Liberty Bank. At Liberty Bank, you can
share
now
it.
open a checking account online and gain immediate access to our many services. It's easy for you
Much
to go
better.
and keep track of your account.
So how you got to not be as modest? Because you got to talk to the people.
I got to talk to the people, huh?
Yeah.
I want you to give me a good introduction so I can...
24 hours a
I talk so much trash about you.
All right, I'm going to give them something. Hold on.
libertybank.net. Bank at Liberty. There's freedom here. And don't forget to use promo code.
All right. So the angle we going to go for. You ready for get ready?
I can't share this. Oh.
When we tag you. Oh, hey, family. Oh, so we forgot that the people was listening on live. Hey, family. We just want to say thank you so much for, tuning in with us today. It's always a pleasure to be able to teach and educate those who don't necessarily know about the Gullah culture. We always get asked if we're from the Caribbean or if we're from Trinidad. And all of my Gullah folk on there, y'all know y'all can tune in and say some words because we always, even though the language is not often spoken, right? The dialect that we have in Charleston is definitely still there. And so a lot of people think when you say that you're from Charleston, South Carolina, that you're supposed to be sounding like, hey y'all, how y'all doing? You know, like a country twang.
It's about the words too.
Yeah, and it's also about the words.
I mean, a couple of words like turtle. People use the word cooter.
Yeah, cooter. And they got the song like Cooter Brown and all this. And a few people who have been in the city of New Orleans or elsewhere have heard some of the Gullah seminars that we've done. And then Howard just maybe a couple of years ago did the
we did a Gullah and Creole family reunion.
Gullah family reunion, which was amazing. And I don't know what he has going on because he may come up with something else. You never know. But we will continue to be ambassadors for
this great culture.
Yeah, this great culture. It's dying with us.
It's dying, but I think it's coming back.
It is coming back.
And we don't be the ones to save it.
Yes, we're gonna be a part of the fraction of people who are out there definitely representing the Gullah culture. But we're gonna definitely rep the Gullah culture here in the city of New Orleans because it's just a beautiful culture. One fun fact about the city of New Orleans is that, and I tell people this all the time, is that when some of the slaves were doing too much in Charleston, they would send them to New Orleans, to the most, to an unruly place, as they would consider New Orleans to be a little wild. And so there are definitely Gullah roots here in the city as well. And so it's just an opportunity to continue to expand on what we know just to be an authentic culture, which is to be true. So we're about to get back in. All of my people down there, if you got something to say, just drop a line about the culture, and we're going to continue to rap, eh? Oh, okay. I thought I was in trouble. So, but yeah, at one point there were a lot of people who didn't want to speak at all with the culture,
And I could say, like, even in my part of South Carolina, like, it's been educated out of us. Like, my grandfather used to speak Gullah, and we was 50 miles off the coast. If you walk straight through without going through the interstates and roads, it's like 50 miles. And,
really?
Yeah. But you look at our foods and things like that, like what we eat, perlo rice and okra soup.
Yeah.
It's a telltale sign that we all have it.
Yeah. And we also, and he cooks a lot as well. Like I said yesterday, I'm a professional taste tester, but I do cook a lot of the traditional dishes too, like the okra soup, like the perlo rice, like the and everything that we eat too is also with rice. A lot of things.
Stuff with rice.
And if it's not with the rice, then it's not a good meal. That's all I'm gonna say. You got to have rice.
You can always eat rice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes, right. And so there are a couple of things that we want to talk about today, because he does have some hill rice that a lot of people thought were gone or extinct out of our culture. He found it in Trinidad, the same rice that our ancestors ate. We got life everlasting, we got sweet potatoes. So all of those things we're going to talk about shortly. And it's just about to be on and popping. So like I said before, if you got any questions, just drop a line.
And ask anything you want to know,
Oh, yeah. I'll say ask anything you want to know. This is an awesome show for me today to have Howard sitting next to me.
If you want to know something about barbecue, eating healthy, agriculture.
Yeah, everything, all of that.
All of that, because, like, we are what we eat. The land is what sustains us.
I got to tell you about all of that, huh?
Yeah.
I forgot you do all of that.
I know all that. All of that.
About the hog, about the agriculture, about
growing
farming.
Collards, eating collards. Like this week, I'm eating a lot of vegetables.
And see, he didn't even call his sister.
Smoothies, vegetable smoothies.
You ain't even
raised collards.
Why you didn't tell me you pick it? You told me last night you pick your collards.
I had to pick them before it get cold, because the leaves would have been destroyed.
See how you treat me. But one of the things is too that one of the people that you brought in from Senegal, one of the chefs that you brought in, he was talking about how in his particular village in Senegal that there is a barn house in a sense, right? That's full with food. You remember everybody brings in their harvest and puts it in this particular house. So nobody goes hungry. And when we have people like Howard and Baba Peter who know how to agriculture and who know how to do agriculture and farm, it's important that we begin to pull on that particular knowledge, And so this is a very good conversation that we're having today, and we're about to get started again, I think. Okay. Oh, welcome back, family. Welcome back. Welcome back. We appreciate you for joining us on this beautiful day. We just want to say thank you, or tanky, as in the show that we're doing on this particular day. Welcome. This is your favorite Gullah girl right here on WBOK with the new show here on the move. And we are definitely a community that is on the move. So we just want to say thank you. Now, if you are listening, that means that somebody next to you is not listening. So what I need you to do, my good family, is just tap that individual or just send them a nice little text and let them know that they can tune in live with us right now at www.WBOK1230am.com. And if they just happen to like the phones, if they just want to just sit there and just twiddle just a little bit, you can tell them to download that Google app on your Android or on your iPhone. And because today is such an interesting show, I know that you're going to want to call in and ask a question. So I'm going to give you these digits so you can give us a ring. It is 504-260-9265. That is 504-260-9265. 5, family. Oh. I only can do one hand today, family. One hand, because it's so pop. My leg is bumping though. Get ready.
Oh, that's DJ Jubilee.
That is DJ Jubilee.
You came to our event that time.
But yeah, see? Okay. So, hey, I'm still bopping. Okay, I'm done bopping. All right, family. So today, family, we have Family First Fridays, and we have a special treat today. We have a special treat for you guys today. It is officially Gullah Geechee Day here at WBOK from 12 to 1 hour now. Only for the 12 to 1 hour during this particular show. And we have an amazing guest with us today. He's my brother. He's my friend. He's also a Gullah man that's sitting next to me, Dr. Howard Conyers. He is a rocket scientist, an engineer. He's an agriculture man. He's been declared a Pitmaster, I'm going to say, of South Carolina. One of the many great Pitmasters of the city. One
of the great ones, just trying to carry on tradition and represent well.
For
the culture.
For the culture. He can tell you how to fry a hog, dye a hog, pick a hog up, open a hog, dissect a hog. Anything you want to know about the hog, the brother can tell you.
We can also do lambs, goats, too.
I know.
not just
yes.
hogs. We eat lambs, goats, chickens, us all.
Greens, beans, tomatoes. And that's the song of Shirley Caesar. Jazz is having fun today, y'all. So he's over there talking lamb. So what else can you do? Like lamb?
I mean, you put it, it's protein, I could cook it. It's a vegetable, I could cook it. Give me fire, I could do it. Make it happen.
Jazz. Lean, greens, tomatoes.
We don't need a stove.
We don't need a stove?
No.
Why don't we need a stove?
We ain't always had a stove.
Okay, so how do you prepare your food?
I prefer cooking on live fire.
And what does that look like, Mr. Engineer?
What it look like?
Yeah, you got to tell us what it looks like.
You want me to dig a hole and cook something for you?
No, but you can tell the people on the air because they may not know what a live fire look like besides us just, what? Turning on the gas stove?
Turning on the gas stove, lighting a pile.
That could be a live fire.
I was cooking in a big wash pot, big black witch kettle, like a big stew. We know for eating stews in our community.
Okay.
Stuff that's real tender, simmer it down, gumbos. You got to cook it in one pot. One pot mix in this bin, like to say.
Okay, one pot mix. Okay. So what he is failing to tell you though is that what he does his meat and he does for the hog, he does it in the ground.
Well, I do it above ground too. I mean, that's in the ground is where it started at. Above
okay.
ground. Let me give you since you want me to talk about that.
Thank you. We appreciate that, brother.
So most people cook in these barbecue rigs on the back of their truck or on cinder blocks, old fuel tanks. That stuff that's not where it started at.
Thank you.
It started with people digging trenches in the ground and they putting like tree limbs across, and then later years they start putting metal pipe across so people could really see how to cook meat.
Yeah.
So people oftentimes don't really know where that tradition came from, and then later years they start putting.
Go ahead.
And then when you look at who's doing that work, it may not look that way today, but it was a lot of African Americans on the plantations in the American South who was actually doing the heavy lifting of cooking barbecue.
Wow. Okay. And so one of the things that we put on the topic today for Facebook Live was taking what we learned from our past and bringing it into our modern future, because those methods are definitely coming back. Because if you didn't, it was an everyday thing for you when you were growing up.
I won't say it was everything.
Not every day, but it was something that was done often.
Often.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that. And so when you say, oh, yeah, he cooks the pig in the ground, they'd be like, say what? Like that doesn't happen. And it's not Hawaii. And it's not what we usually see on a regular basis. And so when we begin to think of those things that we learned back in the day as something that should just be pushed away, something should not be kept, we are forgetting the things that used to sustain us.
And we're forgetting a lot.
Forgetting a lot.
Well, imagine what happens if Walmart closes or Rouse's closes. What are we going to do?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what will happen? And so these techniques and, like, even some of the things that we do, I mean, for me, that's how I and my sister came about, because in Charleston, where I was raised, the women in the city of Charleston, especially in my church realm, were very protective. They were very, I didn't know of anything else. And I told my mom, and actually some of the ladies at the church, I said, y'all set people up because everybody in the world is not like this. You know what I'm saying? Because they were so loving, they were so caring, and it wasn't never, I got this. It was just like, what we need, type deal.
It was about survival, though.
It was about survival, but actually genuinely caring for the next person. And so that's why with I and my sister, intimacy within sisterhood is such a big thing for me because I didn't know anything else.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know anything else until I went to school.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Until I went to college and I was asking somebody and she was a sister. She was just like, well, I ain't your sister. And so that, for me, it crushed my life. I'm like 22, and it crushed me.
A real village. Like everybody.
It was a real village.
Everybody your sister in the
And you got play cousins for days.
And you go to somebody else's house, you eat just like they eat.
I can walk into a friend's house and walk into their refrigerator like it's mine. To this day. Even though I don't live in Charleston.
And then your parents will let them eat better than you.
Come on now. So the topic for the day, like we mentioned, we just want to say thank you for those who are taking the time out to come and join us today. We're talking about we declared this particular day a Gullah Geechee Day here on WBOK from the hour from 12 to 1. And we just want to say thank you so much as we begin to think about all the things that our ancestors do so we can bring them to the future so we can be able to sustain in the modern day, you know. And so I just want to say thank you so much. And we're going to be able to translate a little bit too for those of you who don't understand a little bit, you know. And when you don't know, it's okay. Just text me or something, or just call them in and just say, what is for say? And I would definitely translate what for say for you today, okay? All right.
But this is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, a beautiful thing. The language dying, you know, the language die a little bit too. And we got to be able to bring it back. Clarence Thomas, prime example.
So,
Gullah man, you know.
He is.
Gullah man. The brother said he don't even want to talk like that there. You got people who were embarrassed to talk the way we just talk now.
But you got to understand, people also, like, our parents also look down upon it.
Yeah. My mama just now saying she a geech.
And we all geechy. Fresh water, salt water.
Can I tell you?
They don't know about that, though.
Can I tell you? So what the things that you have learned, how has what we have learned, talk about how your upbringing has influenced your current state, because people need to, like, you blowing up and people need to know your name.
Okay, so my current upbringing, I didn't know anything. I thought things we did growing up was like a common way of life. I thought it was just something that everybody did, but it took me moving to New Orleans, Louisiana to realize like the lessons I learned on the farm was really significant. And it was also, I realized it was significant from the standpoint of like how cultural traditions are passed down.
Yeah.
And more importantly, passed down with the land.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really relevant, even when you look at New Orleans. Even though I grew up on a farm in South Carolina, and you look at land in the city of New Orleans, like culture and traditions go with neighborhoods.
That's true. And that's similar here in the city, too.
It's very similar here
in New Orleans, how we live in New Orleans, yeah.
And so, like, as people get displaced out of a given area, whether it's Charleston or New Orleans, those traditions kind of get displaced with it. And so some of us who are, like, in positions, we have to be conscious to make sure that we make sure these traditions are not totally lost, even if we move away from that land. Because these are our traditions. These are traditions are very African-centric.
Yeah.
Deeply, well, not African-centric, deeply rooted in Africa.
Yeah.
And if we don't maintain those traditions, we don't know who we are, or our kids won't know who we are in the future. And we're great people.
We are great people. And the mind-boggling thing for me is that the port of Charleston, at least 500,000, if not more, of they call them fresh Africans came through our port. You know what I'm saying? But through the whole slave trade, 6 to 7 million of Africa's finest came over here.
And we were actually, the United States was the smallest trade.
The smallest
when we think about the Caribbean, we think about South America.
And it's crazy. And so for us to be able to, so let's talk about the Sea Islands. A lot of people think of, when you say, oh, yeah, I know Gullah, they think of Gullah Island from Nickelodeon, our friend Sarah McKeever. You know, Sarah over that way. We say big up Sarah out in Atlanta. But everybody think of come and let's play together in the bright sunny weather. Let's all go to Gullah Island. Everybody thinks of that. Like, they'd be like, oh yeah, that song. But even though
so you already have a different type clap.
Yeah, we got the low country clap. We got different types of stump. It's a different type of rhythm that goes along with that. It's a different type of rhythm with our tongue when we're speaking in dialect that goes along with that. It's a very rhythmic language.
But I think it also that rhythmic part goes on with. I used to take speech classes growing up.
Ah.
Really?
Jessica just joined us. Jessica Berry just joined us, and she is Dr. Jessica Berry. Let me put that in front of that. And she is one of the sisters that is teaching the teachers in Charleston County how to, not necessarily understand, but respect Gullah Geechee as the first language.
It is. I mean, it should be officially accepted as a first language, not as not a play language. It's what people speak in their homes. And
It is.
That's
You
why
know,
I
have to
struggle with
think
English.
sometimes.
I struggle with English language because of what was spoken at home.
I thought I was the only one. I would have to think sometimes before I would do a sentence because I'd be like, wait a minute, that's not the way you say it.
That's not the way you
in
say
English.
it. But when you come to write it, it's a little different. I struggle. I still struggle.
I'm just glad I know that I'm not the only one.
And I got a PhD in engineering. I still struggle.
Man, come on. I had an aunt who was a English teacher, and every time I would say, I hungry, you know, or you over there, or out the window, you know. She'd be like, you can't out the window.
You can't.
You
got to get every syllable.
You know,
we do a lot of putting syllables together.
Come over, yacht. You know what I'm saying? Go back there in the yacht. I got to go in the yacht to go get something.
Nobody know you went to the yard to go get something. You got to.
So she would correct me because that was not something that she wanted to carry on. You know, that was a tradition that needed to be broken, like you said.
I get it. Yeah, it's a bittersweet thing.
It is a bittersweet thing. But every chance I get, now people know when I'm angry or when I'm tired because then geeks come out.
Back.
I go back because I don't even want to think about talking. I don't even want to think about how to process words. You know what I'm saying? Like it just like I tired.
Even my wife tell me when I go back to South Carolina, I come back with a different tongue.
Don't let a phone call happen and there's somebody from home because it's about to be on and popping.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
It is. It's definitely a real thing. And just for people who are just like, I can't believe this is truly happening. Yes, it happens here in the United States. And just to give you an idea of quite a few of the ethnicities, African ethnicities that came over during that time, we had the Fula, the Kissi, the Limba, the Mandinka, the Mindi, the Timne, the Vai, and the Wolof. And then you also had our brothers and sisters from Angola, Igbo, Calabar, Congo Republic, and the Gold Coast that came over. So imagine having all these different ethnicities, African ethnicities, with the only common language that they know is the British English. You know what I'm saying? And so what we ended up having, Gullah is a combination of African words and or syllables mixed with English.
Man, you educating the people.
You know what I'm saying? And so people, it's not just, it strikes a nerve in me when people say it's Ebonics.
I can see, I can understand why you say that, but you also say like it's almost the first. Well, no, it shouldn't be used as Ebonics. That's a bad choice of words. Making the description. Yeah.
And so when we went on this particular show, when we have Black Chamber, New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce comes in, and you're having Miss Kalisha Garrett telling you we are just 40 years into the table. This is real. You know what I'm saying? Like right after slavery was abolished, we went to the Civil. You know, we had the Civil War. You had the American Civil War, and then that freed 4 million slaves. And then right after that, we had the years of Reconstruction, 1865 to 77, which was followed by the Civil Rights Movement.
That ain't free. The Emancipation Proclamation didn't really free slaves.
But we know that, though. But I'm saying, like, as soon as we got here, you know what I'm saying? As soon as our ancestors were brought here, we had this long, turbulent time of what the Europeans considered slavery. Then you had your Civil War. Then you had the Reconstruction period. Then you had the Civil War. And then you know what I'm saying?
We're missing something, though, Kyndra.
What we missing? What am I missing? Tell me what I'm missing.
Like, we missing the sharecropping era, and we also missing, like, the 13th Amendment. Like, we kind of have to make sure, like, slavery sort of changed forms. It ain't necessarily...
It did. Talk about it.
It ain't necessarily just, like, went away.
Yeah.
Because, like, the prison system was based upon slavery. That was the only way you could get free labor.
Yeah, yes.
And then the sharecropping era was sort of the same thing, where as soon as these people was enslaved, was slowly released, they still worked on the same land that their family was enslaved on.
Yeah.
And so when they had to use certain stores, they had to buy all their goods from the plantation owner. And so the plantation owner wasn't giving them money they could use in another store. They gave them a coupon on their own paper. Basically, they only use in their store. So it's so deep.
It is very deep, and I'm glad that you said that they had to sharecrop on their own land, and that's why you see a lot of, and you see it a lot here in the city too. Families who have like a block, you know what I'm saying? Like in the city of New Orleans, the land is not necessarily wide; it goes deep. You know what I'm saying? And so within that particular property that goes like all the way to the next street, you may have like 4 houses, you know, of family members that are sitting there. And so in the Carolinas, you see that a lot too, like in Hilton Head or in the country or in James Island or when you're going out to Guatemala, all those different islands, you see like a area of land. And then you got your grandmama, your auntie that stay right there. Then you got your uncle that stay right there. Then you got cousin Bubba that stay right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
and it's the same. Is that not the same concept or?
It's a little different.
Okay, talk to me.
But what is amazing about this whole thing?
Yeah.
When I look at it, our ancestors or our elders didn't have the education that you and I both have. You have a master's in social work, and I have a PhD in engineering, right? But they was able to acquire all this land and keep it for all those years without the education, the quote-unquote educational system. Not to say education is very important, but to be able to do the things they have done with little or nothing means a lot.
Yeah, it does.
It says a lot.
It does. And if you ever have the opportunity to talk to some of the elders in the community, especially in this particular community, they say the more education we got, the dumber we became. What you think about that?
In certain ways.
I'm just saying,
in certain ways,
because we kind of lost family value.
We lost family value. We lost connection. We had to leave certain places. To be able to go after our opportunity.
Yeah. We lost a few things. So how do we get back to where we need to be with all of the information that we know? Like you know what I'm saying, like with you knowing the agriculture, with you being able to say, hey, these are the pieces that we need to be able to sustain. How can we begin to like even jump back to where that area is, you know?
We need to study some of these individuals, our older family members. We need to spend time with them, talking about what their life was like. Because in truth, before it's like what we eat today. Our families used to eat really healthy. I don't really buy into this whole argument of soul food being fried chicken. I mean, but that's something that frying food was not something I ate a whole lot of. It's quick and easy, but it's not something I ate a whole lot of. But I used to eat a lot of rice and greens or seasonal. Whatever was seasonal.
Yeah, we did a lot of beans.
Say like this time of year, I was eating collards, rutabagas, turnips. And not just the leafy part. I was eating the bulb part too, mixed in. You ain't eat that?
No, but you know what? I just recently found out when I was doing herbs that we would always throw away the stem. You know, of the greens that you cook with the stem.
No, we cook stem in there. If it wasn't too big.
If it wasn't too big. But all your vitamins and all your stuff is in the stem. So and do me a favor and talk about why we used to put the pineapple around the pig for the table. Didn't we have that conversation, me and you?
We had that conversation, but it was not something we did a whole lot of. But
that's some people, because it drew out like one of the reasons why I was asking was because, like you said, even though our parents did not have a whole lot of education, they knew a whole lot of science. They knew a whole lot of engineering. They knew a whole lot of culinary. They knew they were herbalists. They were chemists. They were a lot of things that they couldn't even go to school for, but they already knew innately. And one of the reasons why I was asking them to say that, because it was something that was, I don't know if it was pineapple or not, but it used to draw out the parasites around the pig, and I can't remember what it was.
And the only way I can see that happening is around a salted pig or something like that. But with a salted pig is not going to have parasites because the salt going to prevent any kind of bacteria from growing. Because they used to, when they had salted hams and they put hams away for preservation, and my family used to always say they used to have to boil it a couple of times to help get some of the salt out of it. And people always think about like salt today, considering leading to like high blood pressure. But they did things to actually try to get rid of salt because they know too much salt is inaccessible. It's not healthy. So it's like one of the things I'm really big on. Like salt is something we use to add to food to make it taste better. But we also need to realize we have to do it in moderation.
Yeah, everything in moderation is definitely better. But it just blows my mind how we can just. And one of the things that and for those of you guys who are just tuning in, and I just got so engrossed in the conversation, thank you for those of you guys who are just tuning in today. We declare today on WBOK on this particular hour Gullah Geechee Day. And we are talking about just how our ancestors and how strong they were, and how we can bring some of those traditions that they had in the past that sustained them to what we're doing currently, currently and in the future, so we can be able to sustain ourselves. And so the conversation that we're having, some part of it has been in Gullah, a piece of it has been in English. It's just talking about how we can get those traditions back. Like it's okay to be able to say, I don't necessarily know where I come from. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to research or just talk to your TD next door.
But I think at this time we have to take a little bit of pointing upon ourselves and learn where we're from, so we know where to go. And so we also don't repeat some of the same mistakes.
Yeah.
But I would say that a lot of our ancestors were very entrepreneurial, where they were sharecroppers.
Yeah.
They were very entrepreneurial mind thinking, and I think we're going to have to get back to that solution.
Yeah.
Because as being entrepreneurs, you actually and I know I work a regular job, but as an entrepreneur, you actually be able to build jobs and create jobs for other people.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the entrepreneurial piece of it, because one thing that we talk about too on air is how do we support our own. Back in the day, we didn't have a choice. You know, it was because we needed to be able to support each other. So if you knew, like if I needed salt, well, if I needed potatoes, I'm going to use sweet potatoes, right? And so we're going to bring a couple of things. Howard brought a couple of things for us on the air today to be able to see. So my Facebook viewers will definitely be able to see it. But he has some herbs in here. He has we call this a fanner.
Oh, that's a fanner.
Yeah, we call it a big fanner. Sweetgrass baskets. And he also has sweet potato that's grown from his daddy's farm. But we still use a lot of our current or ancestral herbs today. So there's a herb that I use all the time, and people who know me know that I use it, and I always tell you, don't go to the doctor. I got some Life Everlast to give you. So Life Everlast is an herb that can definitely be found in Charleston. I know it is illegal, and I don't know why it's illegal. We don't know why it's illegal, but it cleanses and helps everything. It's also known as rabbit tobacco, because I know sometimes I know your father said sometimes you smoke it, huh?
That's what they said.
And sometimes you can smoke it, but today what we do, my dad, he uses Life Everlast with whiskey or tequila.
Like a hot toddy.
Like a hot toddy.
A modernized version of a hot toddy.
Yep, you boil the herb, you can put your lemon in, you can put your honey in, and I'm gonna just show you for my people who are on who are for Facebook Live, but we have it right here, and it's dry, you know, and so you put it in the water. You put it in the water, and you boil it, and you can put a good bit in there, as much as however sick you are, you know, and you put it in there and you boil it, and when it comes to a boil is when you put it and then you steep it, and you put it in your cup. Now don't drink it bitter, here. Don't drink it by yourself, because that's some nasty. When I tell you you're nasty,
it's gonna be bitter though.
It's nasty, baby. It ain't bitter. You're nasty. I just telling you what I know for sure. You're nasty. So. But you can do that. Also, he has. Now, I really want you to talk about the hill rice. Let's talk about the hill rice real quick.
Real quick, you might want to say that for a longer segment.
No, we can talk about it for a quick. You can give them.
I'm gonna give you a quick tidbit, right?
You give us a tidbit.
So, and we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we're gonna come back and talk about it.
We always think our rice should be like white, right?
Yeah.
But when our ancestors used to pound it, it wasn't always white. It had
pound it, you mean? Pestle and mortar.
Pounded in the pestle and mortar.
Okay.
So like white rice, you lose all the nutritional value because you're losing all the bran off of it to make it pretty white.
Yeah.
So like healthier rice is really brown rice. This right here is an ancestral rice that we found in Trinidad. They thought was lost.
But it's not.
But it's not. And there's a deeper story behind that. If anybody ever heard of a story called Americans, after the war 1812, they fought with the British, and part of the deal was the British took them to Canada, and then they went to Trinidad, and they set them out there. But on their journey from the Americas, from the Sea Islands, the coastal part of Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida, they took their crops with them. They took their native, the things that they were used to growing to Trinidad, and they have been growing them continuously in this area called Moruga. And in Moruga, they have different areas named after this different companies that they had with fighting in the war.
Yes.
Which is really deep. So I encourage anybody to look up Americans. It's Merikins.
I love it. It's with a K.
With a K.
I love it. I love it. Family, listen, we have a caller, Brother Keith, who is on line 1. We say thank you, Brother Keith, for calling in today. Oh, Brother Keith, we got you there? Hey, yes, I can. Here you go, Brother Keith. Hey.
That's a peanut.
Yeah.
That's a peanut. That's an African word for peanut. I didn't know it from reading though.
Yeah, that's Hilton Head. Yeah, Hilton Head. Yeah.
Yes.
Sapelo Island.
Sapelo
Yes.
Island, yes.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No. So
Yeah.
you're right. So that's the reason we did a event.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. How your mama for
How your
do?
daddy know? How your people know? No, I understand exactly what you're saying. That's the reason, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we some of the same people. Yeah, you talking about like somebody like Philip Simmons. He was.
Yeah, Philip Simmons. Yeah. Hmm.
No, we did an event last.
It is. It is definitely the same. All the bean. Yeah. 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 All the beans. Brother Keith? Okay. All right. So, Brother Keith, we got to take a quick. I do, Brother Keith. I know. All right, brother. I appreciate you so much, Brother Keith, for calling. I really, really do. I really, really do. Family, we're going to take a quick little break real quick, though. This has been an amazing time right here with my brother Dr. Howard Conyers, as we continue to talk about the Gullah Geechee culture here. We want to say thank you, and we hope that you stay tuned there. We don't want you to go too far. We want you to come right chat and listen to us for the last 15 minutes of the show, huh? Talk to you soon, family. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. Brother Keith, I don't want to get off the phone. All right, how are you? Thank you for opening that door. Bless you, huh?
What is it smell?
Huh?
What is it smell?
I don't know, but it's hot in here.
It might be Lysol from the.
Thank you. We'll let that those
Keep
things
going for a little
for a
bit?
second. Yeah. Woo. So, family, we appreciate you. So you had quite a few comments. People were very appreciative that we were talking about today's about the conversation we're having. So we have Sister Aduke, who's just very stoked that you mentioned
Oh,
Trinidad.
Duke, she good people.
Hey, Duque, nice to meet you. My cousin just joined in, Brother GQ. You got a good friend, Robert E. Thomas, JD, good look, Aggie Pride.
Oh, I know Robert.
Edmond Flores, you know, Duke, I agree. I'm focusing about the learning of the Gullah Geechee culture. Thank you so much. We should look into the rest of that. Going to the Hilton Head, learning the G&G culture, and to relate on your show is grand. Give thanks. Sister Denise was talking about pineapple has bromelain, which helps the lungs too.
Okay.
Pineapple breaks down protein, she was saying. And so we have a lot of people who are just commenting and just saying thank you. Bella the Lady Green, I know what man are calling me for God. Yes, indeed, you better speak that.
Man, wow. She typed it too.
Yeah, she did type it. Loving the t-shirt, the doctor t-shirt. Go ahead. God. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. So we want to thank everybody who's been joining in with us today as we continue to talk about the Gullah Geechee culture that is reviving. We're not even going to say it's dying. We're going to continue to say that it's reviving because you have many ambassadors who's not going to let the culture die. You know?
We're not. It's here.
We're not going to let it die. I'm going to show you these potatoes that came from Howard's daddy's farm. Look at that.
Now, that's a real potato right there. It candies when you bake it. You don't need
by
no
itself.
By yourself. You don't need no brown sugar. You don't need no butter. You don't need no cinnamon. You just put it in the oven.
Y'all see this?
And you just bake it and you just eat it.
Ooh.
They love it. We were growing that potato been in our family for 40 years. And been
This
in our
particular seed?
Yeah, that seed, yeah.
Wow.
And then it's been in our community for probably, I probably would say since slavery.
Yeah, because a lot of you guys haven't moved.
Like in my case, my family haven't moved. Part of my family hasn't moved since slavery. Like except for the ones who came from like St. Simon Island.
I need you to do a test. What's up? So,
I got some
you got family from St. Simon?
Yeah, I got family from St. Simon.
Really?
Really.
Did not know that. So
we came off the Butler Plantation.
Oh, come on, Bubba. Don't talk about. See this Gullah man right here. So, family, we just want to say
legitimate.
You give me some.
Even though it might be.
And everything.
Hey, how you doing?
How y'all doing?
Good.
Y'all not done yet?
Nope, not
Why
yet.
y'all got the door open in here?
Because it was hot. So we got the door cracked because it is hot. But we're just about done though.
That's more than crack.
Yeah.
We'll be all right.
We're going to shout.
Right.
Thank you.
Remember, there was this stuff smelling up here. You might need it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and shut up. Finish telling them about the fanner. You got it? Thank you. Your long arms. I appreciate you. So yeah, about your long arms. I appreciate you.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if a lot of people know about this. This is a rice fanner for using for like getting the husk off of the rice after they pound it in the morsel and pestle. So it get the chaff off of it, and they kind of fan it out. And that's a very important tool. They brought this tool over from Africa in their heads, not on a blueprint. They brought all this information over.
Oh. We back on? Oh. Hey, family, welcome back. We are so glad to have you back with us on the air with us. This is your favorite Gullah girl right here, Kyndra Joi, on the WBOK with the new show here called On the Move. We are definitely a community that is on the move. So we just want to say thank you for joining us for this particular hour here. And then we want to say if you are listening, that means that somebody else is not listening. So we're going to ask you to tap that individual and tell them to tune in live with us right now at www.WBOK1230am.com. And for my other people out there who just love to have those phones in their hands, you can definitely download that Google app on your Android or on your iPhone. And because this conversation has just been an amazing conversation as we just highlight our culture and how we can use our culture to propel us forward. I know you want to call in. That telephone number is 504-260-9265. That telephone number is 504 260-9265. So like I said before, thank you for joining us today. For this particular hour, we have declared this hour Gullah Geechee hour here on the show On the Move, because that is our culture. Those are our roots. And we are very proud of our roots. And so we understand that our roots and how we were raised and how we were taught, experiences, whether good or bad, definitely have prepared us on this particular journey. And we are just so thankful for that. Dr. Howard Conyers is our guest. He is my brother. He is my friend. He's a Gullah man from Manning, South Carolina. And he is definitely the man to want to talk to today. He is an engineer, a rocket scientist, a pitmaster, an agriculture man, a culinary man, jack of all trades, because I know he has helped me on many occasions in my house with all types of things. And so we just want to welcome him here today. He's an amazing guy with amazing things. And we have just been touching and talking about the sweetgrass baskets and the fanners that he has with us, the sweet potato seeds that I found that has been in his family for the last 40 years, the hill rice that Europeans thought was lost, but Trinidadians took with them when they went over that way. And so we have some of that. And then we also have the Life Everlast with us on this particular occasion, which I use very often. Well, not very often, but anytime I feel a little ill is when I use the Life Everlast. And so we have really been talking about how these things that our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents have used in the past and how we are still using them today, and how today we're challenging you to just talk to an aunt, talk to your grandmother, talk to your grandfather about some of the things that they used to do that they knew worked. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Howard was talking earlier about how they had less education, but for some reason they knew how to do all of these amazing things that we now know how to do with all this education and acting slow. Sometimes we act slow. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes we act slow. And so this conversation has just been amazing. And I just want to say thank you so much for just taking the time to just join us. Go ahead.
And I know, like, we've probably been giving a lot of information over the air, and it's probably not, it really don't become relevant until you actually see some of this stuff in real life. And I know Kyndra and myself have been doing things in New Orleans promoting this great culture.
Yes.
And sometimes I know we may not do as much as we should or could do, but we have to do more of it.
Yeah.
But when we do it, we need you all to come out, because we bring in a lot of history here, a lot of connections of, like, we're here. A lot of things are very similar. Like, we have a red rice in Charleston. In New Orleans, you have jambalaya. Yeah. And it all starts from jollof rice. Yeah. So one caller talked about goober, which is a peanut. Yeah. In New Orleans, they use for, like, turtle. In South Carolina, we use the word cuda.
Yeah, cuda.
But in New Orleans, they use kawang.
Wow, okay.
But that's because it got the French influence there.
That is.
But cuda was an African word.
A lot of people ask the question, what's the difference between the two, you know? And I tell people who ask that Charleston or the Gullah Islands or the Gullah culture is more West African based, whereas New Orleans has like a mirage, like a...
You have more people.
Yeah, you have more people. It's like a Haitian, a Cuban, a French, like it's so many Spanish influences here in the city, whereas Charleston is just West African and and it's just West African because a lot of it was maintained. And so I have a friend, she said, "You so African." And I'll be like, yeah, like when I clap, when I move, people ask really odd questions like, where are you from? Like, are you from the Congo? Are you from Africa? I'm from Africa by way of Charleston. You know what I'm saying?
And the beauty behind what, like Charleston and the Sea Islands, the isolation. I think a lot of people don't really talk about that a lot, but isolation helped to maintain and preserve a lot of traditions.
Yeah, it really, really did. And so for that particular reason, we are able to, you know, we've kept our dialect. We've kept, that's what, and what I did, it just kind of brought me in, I guess. I used to sing with Ann Caldwell and the Magnolia Singers, and so a lot of the traditions, like the ring shouts, the melodies, the songs, all of those things are like ingrained. And then when you start singing, you feel something in you in a different part of you that just raises just a little bit, that you know it's just not you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like definitely our ancestral feel that comes with that. And so that's why I can talk to you today and say, hey, thank you for coming on out here today. We want to say, because you've been beautiful people, and we want to say for you to come on back out here for Monday, for to join us from 12 to 1, so we could be able to talk a little bit more geeks with you, you know. And so I could be able to say those things and say it proudly because I am a Gullah woman. And those ancestral roots run deep in me, you know what I'm saying? And so I am definitely not ashamed of that, and Howard is not either. So he's definitely a Gullah man, but he may not have the language, but he got everything else. And so that's why we work so well together, you know what I'm saying?
It's been educated out of us.
Yeah.
But my grandfather spoke it, like I said earlier. But what I also would say, like when I'm doing some of these old cultural practices, whether think about how my father like used to bank sweet potatoes or we cooking pigs in the ground. Sometimes like you get in a situation you don't really know what's going on, but your ancestors kind of like guide you through.
Yeah, that's what that education that we don't necessarily have anymore, that we don't necessarily tap into anymore. Family, we can go on and on about the Gullah Geechee culture, you know what I'm saying, and how we need to be able to preserve it.
On my website?
Yes, and please go to Dr. Howard Conyers' website. Hit him up for him.
My website is howardconyers.com.
And that's HOWARDCONYERS.com. Family, we just want to tell Brother Howard, thank you for being a friend, brother. We do it, yeah. Go Howard, go Howard.
Thanks for having me on the show, Kyndra.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, we coming back. This is an important topic. We got a lot of feedback today, and we just want to say thank you so much for joining us as we talk about it. And for all of my people out there who are listening, we say thank you all the way from the Gullah culture, all the way from the Sea Islands, all the way from Charleston Reds, and New Orleans growing, baby. We want to say thank you. We'll see you for Monday, family. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Peace and light.